Hello, Internet, and welcome to episode 147 of Verbal Graffiti with your host, Brian Glass, aka the B-Man, the People's Degenerate. It's your fault. It's your fault. It will always be your fault. What they talked about in Good Will Hunting, year 1997, I believe that came out, The Therapist, played by Robin Williams, the guy with the hairy arms who used to steal jokes material from other stand-up comedians not as famous or as prolific as himself, said to Matt Damon, when he hugged him in his office, his small little office, and said, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's propaganda. He was lying to you, Matt Damon. It's a good thing he died. Did he kill himself or did he just die? Whatever. He's not here anymore. Robin Williams, that is. But it's your fault. It's not just your fault, Matt Damon. It's all of your faults. It's your fault for whatever misdeed or whatever mistake you make. It's your fault. Let me explain why. I was doing research for this show. I was listening to a podcast so I could rip sound clips to use in my reels. It was a podcast of this floozy, she's a babe. There are these babes who, I guess their careers, they're hot. And they go to parties. They travel every weekend to major U.S. cities and international cities. And they go to parties. They go to clubs. They hang out with other influencers and they drink. And then they have a weekly podcast where they talk about what they did the past weekend. And somehow those podcasts and YouTube videos get hundreds of thousands of views. And they themselves become influencers, and somehow they were able to make a living doing that. I don't know how this vortex works. Clearly, the B-Man, all of us here at Verbal Graffiti, we are not part of this world. But I do view their podcast, and it's not just this babe I was watching. It's like a whole, it's a genre. It's a genre of YouTube creator, podcaster that does this. If you're hot enough and you know how to market yourself, you could be of this ilk. The B-Man, clearly I am not, but I watch these videos that they put out on YouTube, these hot babes, to just get clips that I should kind of turn into funny or what I perceive as funny. Anyway, no, this babe was talking, and I don't know her age, but she was talking about how when she was at the University of Miami, so what age? Junior year, sophomore, junior year. So she was, I don't know, 19, 20, younger than 21. She wanted to get a boob job. She was flat-chested. Her parents gave her terrible genetics. Very attractive, but flat-chested. I did not know her then. I just found out who she is this week. But she got a boob job, and she was talking about how she was telling the whole story about how she got a boob job, and she wanted to be very open about it so that the girls who look up to her could just know, oh, like these boobs aren't real, and the way I look, I get lip injection. This is not 100% authentic, God-given for my parents' genetics. She was talking about how this babe, this floozy, was talking about how her dad would not give her money for her boob job, and so she dipped into like money she'd gotten from her grandparents or that her parents had set up as like a trust fund for her for for retirement or for when she was a grown up. She took all that money and got a boob job from a very expensive plastic surgeon in New York City. And now that I think about it, that does seem normal for a father, like not to want to pay for her daughter's boob job. Like, I think if I had a daughter, I would not want to pay for her boob job. But now that I'm talking it out loud now, yeah, it is very odd. It puts a father, and to be man, I am not a father, but it must put him in a very precarious, awkward position when you have your daughter that you love. And this babe on this podcast, clearly her parents had money, and her father gave her pretty much everything she wants. Although I just listened to one podcast. That's just the vibe. That's just the vibe the B man got from this babe who was talking about her boob job to all the internet. Like, as a father, I'm not a father, but if you have a daughter who asks you, hey, can I have a boob job? Can you pay for it? I just get the sense, I haven't taken any surveys, just thinking out loud here, that most fathers would not willingly pay for their daughter's boob job. But the more I think about it, it's probably the right thing to do. For your genetics and for your family line and your legacy, you're probably better off as a father paying for your daughter's boob jobs if she's flat-chested, because you want your daughter to marry, or at least to procreate with the most successful man that she can find, the most wealthy. It's all about money. We live in a capitalist society, so you want your daughter to marry a successful, career-wise man. And the bigger her boobs are, the better looking they are, the better chance she has, or the odds go up that she'll find a man who is successful financially. And she'll be able to find a higher status man to lock down. So for your family's legacy, and you want your daughter to procreate with hot genetics on the guy's side. So the hotter you can make your daughter, the hotter guy she'll get. And then your grandchildren will be hot. Because the worst thing you want as a father, or could never get, is for your daughter to marry a John like the B-Man, or someone who kind of looks like a cheese doodle. And then you have grandchildren that are ugly. And then you got to take photos with those children. You don't want that. None of us want that. So fathers out there, pay for your daughter's boob jobs. But again, back to this babe who got her boob job. Now, she does not show her boobs. Actually, she was wearing a hoodie. So I don't even, she was just in her bedroom wearing a hoodie. So I couldn't even tell, what, she talked about her size, but I couldn't really notice from what the clothing she was wearing. But it did get me thinking. She talked about this podcaster that, she went to some doctors in Miami and they were very aggressive. They didn't make her feel like a human. It was just very matter of fact. And she felt like she was being pressured. So she described how she probably went to over 10 doctors and she finally settled on this plastic surgeon in New York City who was very expensive, as I already mentioned. And she was very happy with her boob job. Actually, when she first came to after, having the surgery, her immediate reaction was, wow, I wish I had gotten bigger boobies. But eventually they kind of sank a little bit, as they do. And she's thrilled, went back to the University of Miami and told everybody on campus that, hey, my boobs, they're bigger now because I got them done. But as she was talking about it, I thought, that's interesting. That's a topic. Let me go to Reddit, see what people have to say about boob jobs. So I went to the subreddit for the breast augmentation. Now, I can't show you what's on that subreddit because it is just a lot of babes showing their post-surgery chest. And I don't think I could show that here on YouTube. So if you want, just go to breast augmentation subreddit. You'll see what I'm talking about here. But as I'm scrolling through, this was just a scientific, just a curiosity. There's nothing devious about what I was looking at here. I was kind of, there really is no in between with the boob job. The boob job, at least from this subreddit, the ladies, the babes showing their post-op photos, the boob jobs are either botched or they look fabulous. And there didn't seem to be many that were in between. The botched boob jobs kind of all look the same. Like you'd have a line from underneath the nipple. You'd have a line, from the bottom of the boob to the bottom of the areola, you'd have like a scar line, and then you could tell like the nipple was detached and it was put through the boob, and those were the botched ones. And it looked as though, like, if I had to give you breast enhancement surgery, it looked as though I gave you the surgery. Like the B-man gave you your breast augmentations. That's what, and I have no surgery experience. Like, that's what these babes with the botched boob jobs look like. Like somebody with no experience, like the B-man, gave you enhanced boobs. Now, our podcaster, who's very happy with her breast augmentation. Now, I did not see them, but she had told me, and all of her viewers of her YouTube channel, that she got her boob job through the armpit. Like I guess they make an incision through the armpit, and somehow they put the silicone balloon in your boob that way. Then they put the liquid in and fill it up. I think she went under the muscle. You can go under or over. All right. But I'm saying, I guess if you go through the armpit, which they normally, as from what this podcaster I was listening to described, it is not the way most surgeons do it today. It was popular back in the day, like pre 2010, going through the armpit, but most surgeons do not do that. But the ones who got it done, the jobs that I saw on the breast augmentation subreddit, that looked fabulous. Some of these boobs, like the pre-surgery, these looked like malfunctioned toys. Like they were just hanging. There was nothing there. Like they were lopsided. They just reminded you of a flat tire. Like, yeah, I guess you could do something with it, but that's not gonna be fun. It's an eyesore. You don't want to look at that. But then you see the post-operations photos, and they look fabulous. Like they look like perfection, perfect 10. And there's no scars at all. Like there's no scar underneath the boob. You could tell, like you can't tell that the nipple was detached to put something in there. There's no scars to be seen. The perfect. They're not like up here, and they're not down there. They're at the perfect level. It's just very eye-opening to me, because I really have never really studied breast surgery or breast enhancement surgery. And what I'm getting at here is, in the very opening of this episode, I said, I'm making it. This is coming full circle. I'm gonna bring it all together right here, right now. It's your fault. It's your fault if you get breast augmentation surgery, and it's a botched surgery where you have scars and the nipples are a little detached and they're up too high or they're down too low, and it just looks like Frankenstein, and it looks like the B-man gave you that surgery. Your fault. Yes, it's the surgeon's fault, but it's your fault, because it was so clear to me. Just going to one subreddit, the breast augmentation subreddit, it was so clear to see bad boob jobs from excellent boob jobs. And if you're somebody who's interested in getting breast augmentation surgery, just go to Reddit, find all the ladies who have gotten, the babes who have gotten successful breast enhancement surgery, and seek those subredditors out and ask them where they got their, or what surgeon or office they got their boobs done in. Like, it's so, yeah, the surgeons will botch the surgery, whatever plastic surgery you're getting. I'm talking about breasts here, but I'm sure whether it's a nose job or a lip job, or you're a guy and you're trying to like add a few inches to your legs to make you taller. Like, there's enough information on the internet, and enough people are giving exposés of this plastic surgery they've gotten, good and bad, for you to be able to do the research prior to surgery to find a plastic surgeon that knows what the fuck they're doing, and will give you whatever job plastically wise you want done to enhance your physical appearance. So that botched booby job that you have, it's your fault. It's your fault, and it's always your fault. So do your research. Whatever plastic surgery you want. You want your nuts? You want your left and right nut a little larger? Find a plastic surgeon via Reddit or whatever. There are plenty of forums. And you can, any babe or any guy, anyone who's had a fantastic plastic surgery is going to be willing freely to offer up who the surgeon was that they got whatever surgery from. All right, moving along. Ask men this is from the subreddit, Ask Men Advice. Did my coworker, male, 45, want me to see his hard-on? ? I, a 31-year-old female, work with a man in an office setting who can be very playful and somewhat flirty with me. For example, he will playfully shove me or trip me. We normally have a playful, silly dynamic. He recently stopped by my office just to chat, and while we were standing, I could see the outline of an erection tucked into his waistband. His pants were tighter and thinner that day, so I assumed he did not know I could see this, but some other Redditors have thought he intently wanted me to notice. Thoughts? ? Edit. For those asking why I am looking, he was standing directly in front of me while I was seated at my desk, so my eyes were level with that region. Eye looking up emoji. I normally do not check for that. When I first read this post, my initial verdict for your question is no, your 45-year-old male coworker did not, he did not want you to see his erection. That was not his intent. It was just, sometimes you get an erection. And the reason for that verdict is because the waistband tuck is what all men do. Like, you babes do not understand the hindrance having a penis between your legs is. Especially when you're like puberty to maybe 30 years old, when your testosterone it's raging, it's out of control. You're getting erections all the time, even when you don't want them. Like when you're in high school and college, like I would get erect. Like I've spoken about this. I could not wear like basketball shorts to school because I would just get erections throughout the day. I get like 10 erections while I was at school. So like I had to wear jeans so I could do the waistband, hide it underneath the waistband. That's the universal thing that guys do to hide their erection, especially when they're younger, which is very odd. Because my father, my older brother, like they never told me about the tuck method to hide the erection. Like my father never had a conversation with me. I never remember any of my friends ever telling me that. We never discussed it. I don't know. We just kind of all understood as boys in puberty that, hey, when you pop a stiffy and you're in public, you gotta slide it underneath the waistband to try to hide it from people who do not want to see it. It's very odd now that I think about it. Yeah, that is kind of like we all do it as Johns, but none of us are taught to do it. It's kind of instinctive, which is peculiar. Anyway, yeah, but when you're in high school, right, and you're at your desk and the babe in front of you is wearing low-rise jeans and she has a whale tail with her thong sticking out of her jeans, and you can't wear basketball shorts. You gotta wear jeans so that you can tuck it underneath. And when you're in college and wherever, it's just hormones, testosterone, it's peaking. It's a demon. Like literally, it's like a demon is in control of your body, and you have no control over your anatomy. It's either tuck it in the waistband, or if you must stand up, and let's say it's a day, a basketball game. It's a basketball game. You have to wear a khakis and a shirt and a tie the day of a game, so you can't tuck it because your shirt's already tucked in. So maybe you take your backpack or you put something in front of your waist to try to hide your erection. So this is a very common thing, dare I say, a universal tactic that us men with penises take. We tuck it, the erection, in the waistband. So that's why I believe, or I originally thought, yeah, he was trying to hide the erection, nothing nefarious about it. But the more thought I gave it, I'm going to change my verdict. This guy, this coworker of yours, he definitely wanted you to see his erection. I did a 180. To be man, I was wrong. My original verdict was wrong. I've given it some thought and I'm changing my opinion. Yes, your coworker definitely wanted you to see his erection. And I'm not taking a survey, but I've worked in several office settings. And whenever I've gotten an erection while at work in my cubicle, half cubicle, I don't get up. At all costs, I will not get up. I will wait for that erection to subside before I get up to walk around the office, to use the restroom, go to lunch. If I must get up for a meeting, I'm being as discreet as I can with my erection. And that's another thing about erections as a babe you might not be aware of. Like when we have an erection, men that is, like we know that we have an erection, that we have a stiffy, that we have a hard one on our hands. It's not like you stand up, oh shit, I got an erection. No. You know before you get up that erection is there. You feel it. So that's why I changed my opinion, because in any office I've worked at, when I've had an erection as an adult, let's say post age 30, and your coworker here in this example is 45, you hide your erection, or at least you don't get up until the erection is gone. So the fact that this coworker of yours was wearing tight jeans or tight pants, put the stiffy in the waistband and went right up to your desk in your office, he knew what he was doing. He was trying to have a bit of a freak off, a hidden freak off, a subtle freak off with you. So yeah, he knew what he was doing. He definitely wanted you to see his erection, and he succeeded. You noticed his erection. You just told us so on this Reddit post. Now, for a follow-up is, what are you going to do about it, miss? What are you going to do about it? The two of you clearly have a playful, it's almost like a 7th grade flirty relationship. Like he's teasing you, he's pushing you, he's telling you you have cooties. He's telling you he likes you without telling you he likes you. And clearly you like him because you've not reported him to HR for all this annoying, playful tactics that he's doing with you. So you kind of like the attention he's giving you, clearly. What are you going to do about it? You've seen his erection. It's on your mind. You wrote a Reddit post about it. What are you going to do? Now, I look at your position in life. You're 31. You have an office, which tells me that's an indication that you're doing well for yourself. You're probably well compensated. You're probably in a position of management. Your career is trajectory is upward, trending. It seems like you could be a C-level employee within the next 15 years. Are you willing to risk it all to touch this man's erection? Are you? I'm not judging, but if you are, you can. Right? Like you're a female, so you don't have to worry about the male-female dynamic in HR. If this guy As long as, even if you are his superior, you are the female. So maybe HR will look down upon that, but not public. The public opinion will not look down on you for that. But if you're even work-wise, like title-wise, and you want to go for it, then, don't put it in writing in an email or text. Just next time you see him, go, hey, when you were in my office the other day, standing over me, I noticed you did the tuck in the waistband with your erection. I like that. What say you? So, I mean, hey, he shot his shot slyly. Now the penis is in your mind, your court. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? And whatever you do or don't do, it's your fault. Let's go look at some photos. Matthew Damon, it's your fault that I, the B-Man, am onto you and your shenanigans. There is a conspiracy theory on the internet that I learned about. Now, I don't like to call this a conspiracy theory because I don't believe it's to the level of significance of what a conspiracy theory should be. Although there really is no defined definition of a conspiracy theory, but there is this theory on the internet that I didn't come up with this theory. I just read about it and it seemed to make sense to me. And the theory goes like this: Matthew Damon and his friend Ben Affleck did not actually write the screenplay for a Good Will Hunting that came out, that movie in 1997. And the reason being is because the two of them have not wrote a screenplay together that's come anywhere near as prolific or as exemplary as a Good Will Hunting was. That was a fantastic movie, so unique, so memorable, so many great lines. And the fact that the two of them, Matthew Damon, Ben Affleck, have not done anything anywhere near that in the past 30 years since, there is some weight to that conspiracy theory that there was some fugazi going down with that movie and who actually wrote it. Me, the B-Man, I think somebody wrote the screenplay. The writer, the ghost writer, knew they were ugly. They were a cheese doodle. We'll say Ben Affleck, Matthew Damon, these beautiful, these studs, these chads. We'll say they wrote it. I'll get paid. The movie will get made, and everybody's kumbaya. That seems to make sense with me. Are some of you angry? Has Matthew Damon done anything of significance since a Good Will Hunting? The Martian? Fuck that. Who wants to live on Mars? All right. There's no tits. There's no toilet paper. There's no alcohol. You're going to be on that fucking red planet with Elon Musk and Peter Thiel and all those people with high IQs they can't look you in the eye and don't have a sense of humor and put terrible memes out. You can have Mars, you can have space, if it even exists. Really, space, is there really anything up there? Oh, a star is just a planet that blew up 10 billion years ago? How the fuck do you know that? That's as fugazi as whoever wrote A Good Will Hunting is. But I have no desire to go up there to space. Have I spoken about this before? But the last thing I want to do is live on a planet with no sunlight. So I won't have this beautiful tan that the B-Man has now. And have to live in a community with Elon Musk and people, weird lizard people who wanted to leave humans behind. I'd rather be in the metaverse than a real planet up there, wherever up there actually is. Let's keep it moving. All right, this one comes from the subreddit Dating Advice. Dating pool is murky. I've put myself out there after a tumultuous divorce. After licking my wounds for a while, I'm ready to date. I've made profiles on a few dating sites. Are all guys the same? I even put on my profile, I'm not looking for hookups. That's original. The number of unsolicited messages and pictures I've received is unreal. Is it? I was texting one guy who was halfway decent and respectful. Told him I was working and he replied, "I'm naked at home and need you to work this," unquote. After days of talking normally, why are they like this? I'm 36 and have looked around my age, if it helps make it any sense. Another guy asked me how I was doing, and when I replied I was doing well, he answered, quote, "Do you want to get fingered?" unquote. Ugh. Just venting, I guess. Where are all the respectful people? Before we go into her post that I just read, I don't want to apologize because I'm not going to apologize for doing so, but there is a high probability that I was the John who asked this lady if she wants to get finger popped. Is that crude? Is that crude of the B-man? Well, in today's dating market, you gotta act fast because if you don't, you're gonna get ghosted, or you might get forgotten if you don't move quickly. And in my defense, in the B-man's defense, what babe today does not want to get finger popped? Now, if I had a damp hole between my legs that feels gasmy when it's filled, I'd want to be finger popped. So I don't think it's a crude question to be asking a stranger with a hole between her legs that's damp if she wants to be finger popped. All right, moving forward. Are all guys the same? Yeah. We're all crude. We're all gutter. Welcome to hell. Hope you enjoyed your marriage because it's all insidious acts from us Johns that you're going to have to deal with. And you're 36, with each passing year, with each new wrinkle on your face, the more crude and insidious us men you interact with are going to be. Now, to the guy who you described as, the John you described as halfway decent and respectful, be honest. Be honest with yourself. There is no guy who wants a babe to describe him as pretty nice and respectful, and no babe wants to be with a guy that she describes as pretty decent and respectful. So I think that guy kind of knew where he was at with you and what he did when he said, "Hey, I'm home. Do you want to come home and work? I'm working at home. Do you want to come over and work on this?" That was the Hail Mary tactic. And I've been there. I do that. I think what he saw or what he noticed, this John that is that like you were talking to him for a few days, the conversation kind of petered out. He got the vibe that he wasn't going to get any from you. So he threw a Hail Mary. He's like, hey, he's like, I do that too. When I'm in the conversation and texting and I know it's not going anywhere, I'll throw a Hail Mary. I'll go, hey, want to fuck? And if it's somebody I think there is actually a slim chance that she actually will, I won't be as abrasive. I'll hit her with a, hey, want to come over to my apartment? And I know this is a tactic that my mom and my sisters would frown upon, and that's okay. Because I'm not trying to fuck my mom, or my sisters. But when I'm on online dating or meeting a babe in the real world, I'm trying to fuck. So sometimes I'll ask her, hey, wanna fuck? So that's what this guy was doing. It's not you. He was doing it to all the babes he was talking to. When the conversation gets stale, you're like, hey, this is going nowhere. You're probably a wet blanket. And instead of having this conversation just go poof, poof, nowhere, you throw a Hail Mary. Hey, I'm naked. Come over. Hey. So yeah, all guys are the same. It's pitiful out there, man. It is You're not alone. You are not alone. Welcome to hell. Welcome to hell. Wow. You went through a tumultuous divorce. You probably have children, and now you find yourself in your mid to late 30s on dating apps, huh? Welcome. Welcome. Nice to meet you. I'll be here probably for the next 5+ years. It's funny. I've been on Bumble. You know what? How shall I explain? Why are guys as desperate as they seem to be when you interact with them on a dating app? It's because they have no options. Right? They have no options. So when you give them a little bit of attention, you know how you talk about, and the poster this is on Reddit, how all these guys, these Johns, are giving you unsolicited messages and trying to have conversations with you. Well, it's a complete opposite for the guys. Like, they're not getting any messages, any attention. So whenever they get someone to actually talk with them, like, they gotta move as quickly as they can, or there's gonna be a guy who's hotter, taller, with more status, who you're gonna have a one-night stand with in an alley. Let's take me, for example, the B-Man. I've been on 2 dates the past year. Now, I'm probably a hard 5. Out of 10, I'm a hard 5. With each passing year, probably in the next 2 years, I'll be a soft 5. But right now, I'm a hard 5, especially with these glasses on. In the past year, I've only been on 2 dates, both with babes that I've met in person, not on dating apps. And like, look at me. I'm fully employed. I have a sexy hobby, a stand-up comedy, that I treat as a full-time job. I'm active. I'm healthy. I can hold a conversation when I want to. And I get nothing. I've been on Bumble for the past year, I think. And I just got the first babe to message me within the past few weeks. And then we were talking a little bit, or messaging. And then she asked me, how has Bumble been for you, B-Man? And my response was, I probably shouldn't have told her the truth, but I go, well, I don't really have no experience. You're the first lady who's responded to me in the past year. And then her response to me was I don't know how to respond to that. I'm sorry. And I go, no, it's cool. I get it. And then she deleted me, and I'm back to nobody. And I'm white. I'm nearly 6 feet tall. And I kind of got things going for me. I don't have kids. I haven't been through a tumultuous divorce, and I get nothing. I'm not complaining. It's your fault. It's my fault. So, it's guys, like, we have nothing. There are no options. As a guy, the only guys you find attractive are the guys who have abundance of options. And that's why these guys you've been talking to on the dating apps don't have options. That's why they're on the dating apps. And that's why they're throwing Hail Marys at you. And we're all the same, because you tell us about these few guys who are, just being foul, right? Being foul, NC-17 with you. But you're probably not telling us is about the 2 or 3 guys that you've met on a dating app that you've let dick down you who haven't responded to you since. So, yeah, it's your fault. You're all us Johns are the same. With each passing year, you're just going to reach another ring of hell. Hope you enjoyed your marriage, because, Nobody wants anything to do with you. You're old. You're 36. You're geriatric pregnancy. Like nobody's gonna treat you seriously. Hey, think about like love. Think about the first guy who finger popped you. Think about the first guy you fucked. You loved those guys. Hopefully it was the same person. That you were in love. You know those butterflies you got in your stomach and you were obsessed with that guy? That's it's biological and it's propaganda mixed together. The propaganda is the Disney love. Princess, prince. We fall in love. We beat the odds. We run into the sunset. Like that propaganda, that facade, it wears away when you reach your 30s and your 40s. With each finger popping, when you've lost track of the number of guys who have finger popped you, like that facade is gone. You don't, like when a guy finger pops you now, post-divorce, 36, you're not in love with him right away, but you were at 16, and it's because of that Disney propaganda that they put on us Americans. And it's also biology, because believe it or not, like those butterflies, those feelings of love, it's biologically in us to make us want to procreate with those people. Like those first men you were in love with in your teens, your early 20s, you probably wanted to like those butterflies were trying to fool you into having a baby with him so we could keep the species going. Evolutionary psychology. I read up on it. So now that you're in your 30s and you're hitting the wall, all right, and you got all this baggage with you, nobody wants to be with you. They want to fuck you, but they ain't want to be with you. Now, I know that's harsh. That's harsh. But it is what it is. You should have picked another man to marry when you were in your 20s or before you had this tumultuous divorce. It's your fault. It's your fault. But it's also my fault. Why I'm here doing a failing project called Verbal Graffiti. I will say, I'll give you a slimmer of hope. My sister found a husband on a dating app, post-divorce, post-long-term relationships in her mid-30s, maybe your age, 36. My brother also met a lady on a dating app post-age 40. So there are people who find loving relationships post-divorce and, post-age 30, 40 on the dating app. So keep trying. I mean, what's the other option? What other option do you have? Right? The only other option is to give up on life, live alone, or just become one of those fake dykes that all those fake dykes I talk about who they just pretend they don't like men because they can't get with any of the men they actually want to be. So they just find a lesbian to cohabitate with, and then they'll tell everyone they're a lesbian, but they're not actually a lesbian. They just can't get the Chad, the stud that they want, that they find attractive. So those are your options. Quit and become a fake dyke, or just keep going through these crude men that you find on the dating apps. Welcome to hell. Welcome to hell. All right, let's continue reading A Salesman's Wife by John Lawrence. We are now atop of page 169er. We will read 2 pages together aloud, as we always do. The Carlsberg stepped aside icily as Alan and Pamela strode past them out the door. There was a long silence as Justin and Mavis listened to the young couple walking down the stairs and out the front door. Well, the statuesque brunette said, "That's that. Good riddance." "Yes," Justin replied, "good riddance. But it wouldn't have ended this way if you hadn't been such an idiot." Mavis stiffened as he spoke. "Justin, don't say those things. I'll say whatever I please, my dear. Whether you like it or not, isn't that right? Isn't it? Justin, please. Isn't it? Say it. I am your master. Do as I say." Yes, yes, darling, she replied quietly. Carlsberg strode casually to the table and poured 2 glasses of wine. Silence hung heavy in the room as Mavis sat there, nervously wringing her hands. Justin, she said finally, what do we do now? What do we do now? He repeated, turning to her. We go on doing exactly what we've always done. Nothing has changed, absolutely nothing. Do you understand? He walked to her and handed her a glass of the deep red vintage. Then he sat opposite her and sipped slowly, savoring the taste. All trace of anxiety was gone from his face. He seemed calm and totally in control now. Mavis took a small sip of her wine and tried to relax. You say Garrett got his plane to Eugene? The doctor asked evenly. Everything went well? Yes, she replied. Everything went well. Good. Good. There was a long silence again, and Carlsberg noticed his wife still appeared to be troubled, as if the events of the day had shattered her composure. He didn't like it. He didn't want a single crack in his well-devised facade. Nothing's changed, Mavis, he said once again. Nothing at all. I understand, she replied. Yet despite her efforts to conceal her anxiety from her husband, her mind seethed with doubt. Suddenly, their entire world seemed wrong, sordid. When she saw Pamela and Ellen leaving arm in arm, obviously in love with each other, her own life, by comparison, seemed empty and cheap. Yet she could not betray her feelings to her husband, no matter how dreadful she felt. He was her whole life, and she couldn't risk losing what little she had. Go suck a fat one.